What's up, everybody? Tonight we're gonna be making a stuffed calamari and we're gonna simmer it in a tomato sauce till it's nice and tender. So cheers and let's cook. Now the first thing we're gonna do to ensure we get some nice tender calamari is boil it. Now I got a pot of water here. It's filled up to about here with water. To that I'm gonna add some salt, squeeze in half a lemon. Just drop that right in. Then we'll go in with about half a cup of Chardonnay. And we get this over the stove and bring it to a boil. Next up, we gotta clean our calamari. So I'm gonna look at my tentacles here. These two long ones, I'm just gonna pull those off. Just discard those long guys, and that's what we're left with. I'm gonna go through the rest of my tentacles. These look like they're pretty cleaned up. Oh, that's got a little bit. We'll go through these guys. Just keep cleaning them up. We got all our tentacles cleaned up, so now we're gonna move on to our tubes. Now, what I'm looking for here is on the inside. Sometimes you're gonna find this, it looks like hard plastic in there. You want to get rid of that. Some of them have fins on them too. These look like they've already been cleaned up pretty good, but if they got little fins coming off, you want to discard those too. They're not that good to eat. And you just want to check the inside of each one for that hard plastic stuff. Probably not going to find it in every one, but you don't want to eat it, so it is good to go through each and every one. We got our tubes and our tentacles all cleaned up. Still waiting for that water to come to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and start my sauce. Now for our sauce, I'm going to get my pan hot, about medium heat. Add a couple tablespoons of some extra virgin olive oil. I'll go in with half of a yellow onion diced. 3 cloves of garlic minced. Now I'm just gonna let those saute until they're nice and soft. Our onion is translucent. That's looking good. Our onions are nice and soft. I'm just starting to see a little bit of browning in there. So I'm gonna go in with a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes that I crushed by hand. Also, a 24-ounce jar of tomato passata. To that, I'll add 2 tablespoons of capers, some salt, and pepper. Just gonna let that come to a simmer. While we were building the sauce, our water came to a boil, so I just dumped the squid in. Gonna let that simmer for 10 minutes and then strain it and let it sit until it's cool enough to handle. We got our squid simmered off for 10 minutes, strained and slightly cooled. Now I just set about a quarter of my tubes and a quarter of my tentacles aside. Just gonna set those aside for now, and it's time to make our stuffing. For the stuffing, I'm going to mince the remaining tentacles. We got our squid all minced up. To that, we'll add about a cup of chopped parsley, as well as a cup of grated pecorino, cup and a half of breadcrumbs, and 1 egg. Also, I'm going to season that with a little salt. That pecorino is pretty salty, so just a little salt and some pepper. Just Give that a good mix. So we got our mix made up, and also that pre-simmering we did to our tubes. It makes them nice, it stiffens them up a little bit, it lines up the hole, makes them easy to stuff, and it pre-shrinks them so we know exactly how much to fill them up with. So we can just go ahead, stuff them with our filling. That is what we're looking for. Nope. Set that aside. Stuff the rest of them. All of our tubes are stuffed. Now it's time to seal them up with a toothpick. We got our stuffed tubes ready to go into the sauce. Now, I'm just going to take the tubes, I'm going to leave the tentacles that I saved the way they are. The tubes, I'm going to take, just slice those into rings. Now we got our stuffed tubes, our tubes and tentacles that are sliced, and we had a little leftover stuffing left over. We're going to use that too, so time to head over to the stove. Back over at our sauce, we're just going to go in with some basil leaves. Just going to tear them up. We got like 5 or 6 big basil leaves here. Stir those in a little. Okay, now we can just dump in our sliced up tubes and tentacles. Also, that stuffing we had left over, throw that right in. Just more flavor. And now we got our stuffed calamari. And that's going to go in. Just get that down into the sauce. We're going to get the sauce to a simmer and let that simmer for 20 minutes. Our 20 minutes is up, so let's just go ahead and scoop one of these guys up. Just check it with a knife, and that is going in, barely pushing down at all. That's nice and tender. I'm just going to pull these toothpicks up and we'll plate it up. Now we got some gorgeous stuffed calamari here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe. Also, there's written instructions with all the exact measurements in the description right below. Cheers. I'll see you guys next time.